my shop. I'm really excited to show you around and give you a little bit of an idea of what the tools are here and what I do in my shop.
Awesome.
So I do all sorts of metal work.
Wait, time,
slow down.
so your name
Oh, my name, that would be helpful. Yeah.
and your company name.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yep. My name's Lisa Lofdahl, and I'm the owner of Metalworks. I've got a shop here in Irvington, New Jersey, and I do lots of different types of metalwork. About half of my work is blacksmithing and fabrication, and the other half is knives. So in this space here, I've got welders and plasma cutters and multiple forges, all sorts of cutting tools, and other tools that help in the construction of knives. So I got into it. I grew up on the ranch and farm in Colorado, and I was very outdoorsy, always helping my dad do all sorts of things. And so he taught me how to weld and a carpenter and drive tractors,
right.
and he taught me basic hand skills, and also the idea that there's no boy tasks and girl tasks, that if I want to do it, I could do it. And sort of that approach to life has served me well. So I got to the point I'd gone to engineering school and been an engineer for a few years, and then I went and I got a law degree, and I was a lawyer for a bunch of years in Manhattan, and recognized I really needed to do something with my hands. So I picked up welding just as a hobby on the weekends, and I kept liking it, and I kept knowing I didn't want to lawyer forever. And so I worked myself to be able to save enough money to pull the plug on the lawyer job and to do this full time. So I've been doing this full time since 2015. I now have this wonderful shop facility here. It's 1,000 square feet in an industrial building, which allows me to have tools I didn't have before and allow me to create things I didn't have before.
Awesome.
I'm co-located with Real Antique Wood. I rent my space from them, and they're wonderful craftsmen and artisans in the wood world. And so we do a lot of collaboration. They'll do dining table tops, and they'll do bases. They'll do serving plate, the wood for serving dishes, and I'll do the handles. And so there's a lot of just natural collaboration that goes between our two types of materials.
Awesome. So when you started, though, if I remember correctly, you were working out of your garage.
I was.
Tell me a little bit about that.
I was. I intentionally chose my house in South Orange because it had a detached garage and neighbors who weren't too close on a busy street. So if I made a bunch of noise, I wasn't cheap to jowl with my neighbors, and I could work there. And so I did for a number of years. There's some equipment I couldn't have because it had been too loud, but I made things for neighbors and gave them to them, so they thought it was cool, and tried to be respectful of people's hours and not work too late. But that worked great. It gave me a chance to get a foothold, to sort of learn what sorts of things I wanted to do, to find my market and my niche, and it allowed me, with a very low overhead, to kind of get a start in all of this.
Right. And I remember people are going to see knives, they're going to think knives. I know you said custom work with handles,
Yeah.
but I've seen a wonderful home in South Orange that was renovated where you did everything from caps on the staircase to metal work that was around the fireplaces. So what else? What's the full gamut of what you can do, Lisa?
Yeah, well, it's whatever you can imagine.
Okay.
The wonderful thing about making custom work is that it can be any size, it can be any shape, it can be sheet material, it can be forged material. It really lends itself so well to custom work. And the example you were talking about there, I made some caps for newel posts. I encased an entire side of a fireplace in sheet metal. I made hanging shelves that were all lit up and in the kitchen, and so all of these different things that worked really well with their sort of modernist aesthetic.
Awesome.
So I've gone everywhere from that to hardcore, lots of handwork, lots of texture, straps to go on a mantle. So it runs a gamut from what your aesthetic is, what look you're trying to accomplish. I can go from modern to super rustic and everywhere in between.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And one last question then, knives. So I like to cook, so I have my Wusthof knives and all that kind of stuff. Talk to me about the difference in quality of knives, because you can go out there and you can see super sharp knives for not a lot of money. You can see chef grade, and then we've got LLM grade. So
Right.
talk to me about what the differences are to help people understand that if they're buying a piece of art, which happens to be a knife from you, what they're getting relative to something else.
They're getting a few different things. They're getting a design choice. People have, they might like a French style knife, which is more triangular. They might like the Asian style knives, which are thin and have very little rock on them as they chop. They might like the German style, like your Wusthoffs with a big swoop on the bottom, or your rock and chop. So I can make any of those shapes that you like. They can be any size. They can be small, they can be big. They can have whatever handle material you want on it, and any shape of handle. So it's the ability to customize to make it the shape and the style that you like. And then the other differentiator is the steel. So a commercially acquired knife is of stainless steel. And stainless steel is super durable, and you don't have to worry about it rusting. And so it has its niche, but it doesn't get as sharp and it doesn't stay as sharp. So a carbon steel knife, which are the ones that I make, they take just a little more maintenance, like a cast iron skillet. You can't leave it in a sink with a bunch of water. When you're done with it, you just wash it and dry it and put it away, and it'll get a lovely patina on it that shows you've used it, and it won't stay all nice and shiny. But they're superior in function as well.
Awesome. Okay. Great. So how would people get a hold of you if they're interested in anything from A to Z with you?
Excellent. I am on Instagram at LL Metalworks. I am on Facebook at LL Metalworks. And I have a website that is llmetalworks.com.
Well, at least you're consistent.
So there's a theme
First rule
there.
of branding. Good move there. Good move.
And there's my phone number and my email address are on the website.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lisa.
All right,
Great seeing you today.
Mark. Good seeing you too.